Well, a jam-packed show scheduled for tonight, so let's get this on the way. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Darren Jacobs, and welcome to the final show before the long-anticipated Uprising pay-per-view, where we will crown a first-ever Miss Money in the Bank and a second-ever Mr. Money in the Bank. First up tonight, some more qualifying for the historic first-ever Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. So far, we only know two of the women, so we will have two qualifiers today. And the first person down to the ring is Shannon Austin, who attempted it last week against Brooke Danger and Vicky Valentine. And it was Brooke Danger who ended up walking out the winner of that. But both Shannon and Vicky Valentine are being awarded second chances here. But it's not going to be in the best of circumstances, to say the least, because they're both coming up against a team who have emerged. They're both coming up against members of a team who have emerged to be quite dominant over the last couple of weeks and months, and that is the Hive. The Hive will both get a chance. So Barbie Versace, of course, as we know, already has her spot in the Money in the Bank ladder match. But now, Tashley and Katherine Albright will both be given a chance here tonight, thanks to due to the fact that Vicky has already had like two chances at the Money in the Bank already, and Shannon has already had one as well, and this will be her second. So Tashley is up first. She's taking on Shannon, which means later on tonight, Vicky Valentine will take on Katherine Albright for a spot in the Money in the Bank ladder match, and these will complete all of the ladder match spots. We already know all of them for the men, and all of the men's participants will be in tonight's main event in a 8-man tag team match. Team Mayhem versus Team Fight Night, but with Franco, the Madman Ricci, appearing on the Fight Night team. So this should be an interesting one here, and it's finally time to finish up these qualifiers, starting with this one. The bell rings, and away we go. And look at this, straight out the gate, Tashley, not going to waste any time to get going. Tashley was always one of the top stars of the women's division, but never could quite get her hands on the championship. So no surprise she's going to come out swinging here tonight. But Shannon, of course, is a former women's champion. She's a tough cookie to beat, as Laura Stables found out the hard way. Laura Stables managing to win her rematch clause, as she tends to do here in WYW, but not being able to do much better than that against Shannon. And Shannon gets an early 1 count. And now it's interesting to see what would happen for the Hive now, because like I say, all three of them have been now given the opportunity to be in this Money in the Bank ladder match. And I'm sure that'd be great for them, because you got to think about it logically. Imagine all three of them in that match. That gives their chances of winning the Money in the Bank briefcase a massive rise. There could be an exponential rise to the top of the card for the Hive. 3 out of a 3 in 8 chance, whereas everybody else would only have had a 1 in 8 chance. And that really does help out the Hive. They have a triple chance of winning in comparison to everyone else, but they've all got to qualify tonight. They've got tough opponents. Vicky Valentine, she has struggled to pick up the wins, but just ask Barbie Versace and Shannon Austin how tough it was just to keep Vicky Valentine down for these qualifiers. And yet she's still here, and she's still kicking as she does each and every week. And as for Shannon Austin, she is a former women's champion, one of the stronger women's in the women's division, and you wouldn't expect it. She's not exactly that type of fighter, especially coming down with a selfie stick and everything. She doesn't strike you as that type of fighter, Shannon Austin, but she is incredibly tough, the sister of the chairman, and she is sent out to the outside. And it's interesting to see the relationship between the Austin family. You'll notice that not a lot of them actually are in the same... Well, they're all on the same brand right now, funnily enough. But none of them seem to work together. None of them have come up with the idea of working together. Of course, Harry already has a team partner in the Deaf Ninjas. Ryan, it seems to be forming a little bit of a bond with Liam Connors over the last couple of weeks. Their relationship seems to have blossomed. And perhaps maybe they're considering tag team work. I don't know. But they both have two very different philosophies about how they usually wrestle, which intrigues me. And of course, Blake Austin, chairman, he is not doing anything. Look at this. And a beautiful move here. And this might be dangerous because the count is rising. And they're on the ramp here. If this ends in a double count out, this could be a serious problem. And Tashley not going to take it to chance. She's going to get into the ring. Is that going to save her from the count? It is! And Tashley gets it on count out. Plan worked enough so she That is the second member of the Hive inside the Money in the Bank ladder. Look at Shannon trying to get in. She came close, but she couldn't. And the Hive have done it again. Tashley and Barbie Versace are now in the Money in the Bank ladder match with one more spot up for grabs. And Katherine Albright has the spot available to her. A cheap victory from the Hive, and that's exactly what it's been about for them. Just using their combined skills and cleverness to work together to dominate the Fight Night Women's Division. And once again, the Hive get a huge leap forward as they get a second woman into the Bank ladder match. Shannon, you can't imagine too happy about that. Not a lot of wrestling to kick off the show in that one, but a brilliant strategy, clearly, from the Hive. And Tashley is going to the Money in the Bank ladder match. Will Katherine Albright join her? We'll have to find out later on tonight. But it is time to move on down the rest of the card. Sorry for the slow reply, SDC, but as you know, I have been spending the last few weeks avoiding you. SDC, you challenged me to yet another match, but this time on the terms that whoever loses leaves the brand. And I don't intend to leave here. I haven't even started here properly yet because you keep holding me up. Mark my words, hero, I will stop at nothing to get rid of you, and I will do whatever it takes. But in terms of your challenge, I think the answer is obvious. SDC, the answer is no. I have done nothing but try to get away from you so I can move on with my life, and you still insist on stalking me and trying to fight me. I'm sorry to tell you, SDC, but I'm done with all that. We have faced off so many times, and I want more in my career. The only reason you're fighting me is because you know you will never achieve anything greater than me. I am a two-time world champion, and you know deep down that there is something that you will never achieve. So I suggest to you that you leave me alone from now on, or I will take legal action. Next up tonight, some tag team action, and following the events of last week, the general manager has arranged this match to determine who will 100% be going to face the team of Oxley and James at the Uprising pay-per-view in a few short days' time. Alan Hart and Peter Bolton took the cheap way out of it last week after losing to Oxley and James. They decided that they were going to end the other match in a no contest, making sure that the Wolfpac and Bolton and Hart would both finish the tournament on 3 points. And so that means that we need this deciding matchup. Alan Hart and Peter Bolton pretty much forcing the hand of the general manager to make sure that this match happened. But for Bolton and Hart, we'll have to see if they can get the job done. They may have picked a fight, and they may have done cheap things to get to this final stage and be one match away from potentially going to Uprising to fight for the vacant Fight Night Tag Team Championships. But what they need to remember is that they're not going up against easy opponents. The Wolfpac are, of course, 3-time Fight Night Tag Team Champions and 1-time Mayhem Tag Team Champions as well. They are one of the most, if not the, successful tag teams in all of WIW. So they've been brave to pick a fight. And this man in particular has really surprised me with his attitude towards this, to be honest. Peter Bolton, the ace, making his way down to the ring. He is surprised me because I didn't think he'd be like this. Alan Hart, I'd expect the cheap shots and the cheap tactics to come from. Peter Bolton, that's not exactly someone we've become accustomed to seeing taking the easy way or trying to cheat in order to get what he wants. The first ever Royal Rumble winner. Clearly deciding that he needed to get on the same page as Alan Hart if they were going to be successful. And maybe that's what it took, I don't know. But Bolton and Hart working together here tonight. And if they win, they will go on to fight for the Tag Team Championships against Oxley and James. Regardless of the result here today, one of these teams will go on to face Oxley and James for the Tag Team Championships at Uprising, which will actually be the first Tag Team Championship match in history, should Bolton and Hart win, that the Wolfpac do not participate in. The first Fight Night Tag Team title match where the Wolfpac would not be participants, and that'll tell you how long these two have dominated the Fight Night Tag Team division. They've been a dominant force for quite some time. And as I say, 4 Tag Team title reigns between them with 2 different titles. And they have been, throughout Season 1, the dominant Fight Night Tag Team Champions. One of the longest reigns in history. By far, probably the best combined reigns in history with the 4 titles that they've able to accumulate. But David and Steve, they have a task ahead of them here tonight, and we'll have to see if they can accomplish it here tonight. Alan Hart and Stephen Thomas going to start us off. The bell rings, and away we go. And Alan Hart and Stephen Thomas, we're going to start this one off, as I mentioned, and Steve going straight for it. And for Stephen Thomas, you can't imagine he's particularly happy about how things went down last week. It was kind of out of his control as well. If you remember, if we remember back to last week, Harry Austin landing the superplex to the outside, and that is when David and Harry were ambushed on the outside, hit at the same time, and declared a no contest by the referee, and that was the only decision where no points were given. So it was very clever play by Bolton and Hart, but now they have to deal with a very angry Wolfpac, and Stephen Thomas showing him exactly what that means. And for Bolton and Hart now, they've taken the gamble, they've taken the risk, they've committed to trying to get the tag team titles for the last month, and they weren't ready to let it go just yet, so they did what they had to. They couldn't do it the right way by beating Oxley and James. They had to do it this way. But now they better hope and pray that this is the right way to do it. Bolton in for the first time in this match, and the Royal Rumble winner, like I say, he's had his successes in WIW. He's never been a champion, but he has had his successes. His main event is the first ever Insomnia, which is an achievement on its own after winning the first ever 30-man Royal Rumble. So Peter Bolton, he's no shy of history here in WIW, but I've never seen him quite like this, willing to take the cheap shots to get what he wants. But I mean, he better hope it works, because imagine this, they do all this, they take the cheap shot, take the risk, and all so they could lose here tonight. They can't afford to let that happen, so Stephen and David here to try and break the hearts of Bolton and Hart, and there's a super kick to try and make that happen. Beautiful kick there by Stephen Thomas, and straight into the cover he goes. Is that going to be enough to wrap this one up early? It's a 2 count. And the crowd thoroughly behind the Wolfpac, as you can see, Steve bringing him back up to his feet, but a shot to the gut by Peter Bolton separates the two. Owen was looking for make a tag. Steve wasn't going to let it happen. Steve trying to get him behind now. Well countered by Bolton. Oh, and look at that. Cheap shot from the corner of Hart, and a backstabber by Bolton. And so already we're starting to see these two starting to get on the same page. They worked together last week to get this opportunity. It looks like neither one of them are willing to let it go. Tag is made. Back in comes Alan Hart. And what are these two thinking? Look at this, getting him up. And oh, into a cutter out the powerbomb. But Steve might be able to crawl for the tag. And he does, just about. But Alan Hart, look at that, trying to slow the momentum down of David. Trying to stop him from taking over as he enters this matchup. David, though, still the strongest man of the Wolfpac, the powerhouse, one of the strongest men in WIW. At some point, we've got to do a strongest man contest here in WIW, because I reckon this man would be right up there with some of the strongest. Now up on the shoulders. Gonna get him up, and he does perfectly. And Bolton and Hart, after taking control for a second there, starting to slip away again as David re-enters, or enters for the first time, and starts to assert some dominance. And as for the Wolfpac, like I say, they've always said that they would love to go 2v2 with Oxley and James. Oxley and James are very well fought out tag team. They're a very, very successful. Well, they're not the best. They're not successful in the terms of titles, but they are definitely successful in terms of results. It's very rare you see them on the losing end. And look at that beautiful DDT by Alan Hart, who's playing to the crowd right now, much to their disapproval. But Bolton and Hart are in control. They know it. Up to the corner now, where he's going to start firing these uppercuts at full force here. And Alan Hart starting to enjoy himself in this one as he's inflicting damage to David. And now another uppercut in the opposite corner. And now flying over. And there's a drop kick as well. Down goes David, sorry. And now he's in trouble here. There's a Hart stopper. Hart stopper. And straight into the cover. Is this enough to get him through? Oh my god, only a 1? That whole massive sequence ending in a Hart stopper. And still, it only gets a 1 count. And that might be worry signs for Bolton and Hart. Panic stations. That's not going to stop Hart, though. Can he lock in the sharpshooter? Scooping him up. Very nicely done. Can he get him with the sharpshooter? Yes, he can. Sharpshooter. Sharpshooter's applied. Is that going to be enough to make David tap out here? It's still very early on for David in this matchup, but he might just tap out. No. Hart's let it go. Hart let it go, maybe sensing he was losing the grip. It wasn't quite locked in as full as he would have liked, I think. Looking at it again on the replay, but good signs here for Bolton and Hart. And straight into the cover off the sharpshooter. Steve was a bit panicked there, and Steve evacuates the ring after stopping the count. Maybe trying to make life easier for David to kick out of. But that's not going to help. Spine buster by the ace. Peter Bolton, massive spine buster. Bolton and Hart off flying in this matchup. And now to his corner, where it might just be the safest place to attempt to put him away here. Looking for a drive-by dropkick. We've seen Steve do this a million times. But Bolton follows the trend. There's the dropkick. And straight into the cover. Is that enough to progress? No, it's not. And Stephen was so confident of that fact that he didn't even come to his rescue. Look at David. Now with a second lease of life. Can he fight off Bolton and Hart, who are doing very, very well right now to stay in control? We caught him with the boot. Looking for a package pile driver. Got him. Gets him down with the pile driver. And surely he's going to go straight into the cover. He does. Hart, is he going to get in there in time? Steve stops him, but it didn't matter. Oh my goodness. Oh, and look at that. I was about to say that Stephen was taken out by Hart, and now Hart takes out David as well. Well, Bolton and Hart, worry signs there. That surprising package pile driver, giving them hope in this match, the Wolfpac. The crowd are going nuts. What a match this has been. Both men getting up at the exact same time. Hart there with the cheap shot. And now, look at Bolton. He might be able to capitalize here. Is he going to make a tag? He is. In comes Alan Hart again. Flying off the top rope. Beautifully done with a crossbody. Bolton and Hart doing a brilliant job here of dealing with the 4-time tag team champions. And we knew they'd do whatever it took. They took the cheap shots there. But I don't think they give a damn about what cheap shots they're taking. They'll do whatever as they're demonstrating here to the top rope. Goes Alan Hart. Dangerous territory here. Looking for the superplex. Connects perfectly. Superplex connects by Alan Hart. And now to the corner. Maybe another tag. This time David prevents it. David not letting the tag happen. He desperately needs to tag out. And it's David and Steve just talking it over. But Steve is coming in. He needed that tag. And Steve was much obliged to take it. Steve now in the ring. Can he find some life in this match? Because Bolton and Hart have cheap shotted their way into control here. And right now, Steve not in great shape. Look at Hart now, stomping away on the limbs. He knows about the previous arms and legs injuries that Steven has had in the past that has kept him out of action for little portions at time. And now taking full effect of that, making the stomps. Now trying to turn around and maybe tag Bolton in, but Bolton unable to be found as he had to go the whole way around there. Steven was spun him perfectly enough to make sure it was a difficult turnaround. And Steve springs back to his feet, but only to be met with a clothesline. What a tag team encounter between these teams. But Hart once again going to the top of the head, but once again Steve with a counter. Can Steve now find a tag? He can, and this might be the move. This might be the move that puts it all away. Sleeping with the Wolves. Sleeping with the Wolves, and straight into the cover. Is Bolton going to save him? He is. And I think he desperately needed saving there. And now look at Hart once again with the cheap shots. Bolton and Hart, sorry, with the cheap shots. Hart is down though. He's stunned. A second package pile driver to him. Oh no, a first to him, sorry. But that's definitely going to hurt with the sleeping with the Wolves. And now straight back to the corner. Maybe a second one. Potentially. No, this time Hart escapes the corner. David tried to throw a little cheap shot there, but he couldn't connect. Hart now needing to make a tag. Not going to get it from this corner. Back to the other side. Back and forth between these two teams right now. David was eager to come in there. Wasn't allowed by the referee, but he is tagged in legally now by Stephen Thomas as they crash Hart into the corner. Before he even drops down to the apron properly, David straight back on the attack, sends him crashing down onto that top turnbuckle. And all of a sudden, David and Steve in forward control, now looking for the package pile driver onto the knee. Perfectly done. Not a full one, but driving it down on the knee. Definitely gonna do the damage to Hart. Hart now just surviving. He's hurt badly. Might need to make a tag. He's spun round here and not in a good position. David now taking him up. And what's this? Look at this. Oh! Spun him out into a powerbomb. Cover. Is that going to be enough to count on? But for how much longer? What does Hart have left in this match? He might not have enough to kick out of this pedigree. Trying to get back to his feet here. He's in trouble. Looking for the pedigree. Got him. Pedigree. Plants down Alan Hart and straight into the cover. Surely this is it. No. What? The full effect of the pedigree. And that wasn't enough. Peter Bolton taking out David. Alan Hart trying to sneak a cover in. And it's a 2 count. How is Hart still in this match? A full sleeping with the Wolves and a pedigree and a package powerbomb into the knee. And still he's going. And still he's taking offense in this match. There's a super kick. And now looking for the pedigree. One more time. Surely this will wrap him up. David and Steve hoping it will. There's a pedigree. And now dragging him away from the ropes to make sure that he can make the cover. And into the cover he goes. That's surely going to be enough to get rid of Bolton and Hart. And it is. The Wolfpac fight off the threat of Alan Hart and Peter Bolton. And they have done it. Oxley and James will take on the Wolfpac at Uprising for the Fight Night Tag Team Championships. Well, Bolton and Hart, they're not going to be too happy about that. They took a huge gamble last week, interfering in their match and making it a no contest. But Bolton and Hart have lost here tonight. The gamble does not pay off. And David and Steve will now go to face for the Fight Night Tag Team Championships again as they take on Oxley and James for the vacant titles at Uprising. But the question is, will they be able to conquer Oxley and James? They already have one win over them, Oxley and James, this month. Will they be able to make it 2 and capture their first Tag Team Championships? Or will the Wolfpac make history by becoming a 5-time Tag Team Champions? Let's move on down the rest of the card. Next up tonight, another television championship open challenge. The man, of course, that has held it for so long will once again defend it, and for the last time before Uprising. Remember though, at the Uprising pay-per-view, he would have held the television championship for a total over his 2 reigns of 365 days, meaning this reign would have been, I believe, 178 days off the... No, 187 days off the top of my head. That's just an estimate. I could get the exact number, but that would mean that I'd actually have to take the time to Google it. But the television champion is out here again, and he's out here first tonight, interestingly enough, but the championship is on the line. Once again, he will not be Uprising, so if he does retain tonight, he will be champion for 365 days. The first person in WIW, I believe in the singles division, to have held the title for a combined 365 days. A whole year as champion. It doesn't get much of a bigger accomplishment than that. Big Willie defending the title tonight. But oh my god, I just heard the music of who it is who's coming out to face him. And the man who will be in a boxing match at the Uprising pay-per-view. It is Big Boss. Well, this is a big decision a few nights out before the pay-per-view, as he scheduled a collide in a massive match against his former tag team partner, Bruiser Brad. Big Boss has decided he's coming out to fight for the television championship. And I can confirm now, as I'm hearing over the headset, that the ring was enforced for this match, because if you remember correctly, the last time these two were in the match, the ring collapsed. And so we have made sure that that doesn't happen again. These two have faced, I believe, twice now for the television championship. And it's a surprise to see that Big Boss has decided to fight here tonight. But nonetheless, he is stepping into the ring to fight for the television championship again. The bell rings, and away we go. Which one of these two will be able to do it? Look at that, went straight for the headbutt, but Big Willie saw it coming. And these two mammoths straight away trading strikes as we knew they would. Oh, look at that, went for a leaping cut, couldn't do it. It's very rare that Big Willie doesn't have the size or height advantage. He has neither in this matchup, with Big Boss coming in at 7'4" and 500 pounds. A massive man, Big Willie, nowhere near that, at least in terms of height. And Big Willie forced to retreat early as Big Boss playing with the crowd a bit, saying he's in early control. Big Willie went for the big fist there, but gets caught with the knees as well. And Big Willie in early trouble here in the early stages. He doesn't go down, neither one of these men wanting or willing to go down for the other. Big Willie, I've never seen him in such a difficult situation as to deal with someone bigger and stronger than him. But Big Willie, as we've seen, has beaten him before, and it took collapsing the whole damn ring to do it. But if he's done it once, what's to stop him from doing it again, especially now that he's this deep into his championship reign? 365 days at the Uprising pay-per-view for Big Willie. Surely he can't afford to let that slip away from him. He knows that. He fell short all the way back at the first reign, where he was aiming for the first person to be a 200-day champion, and he fell short at 198 after losing to JW Cashman in a triple threat with him, William Hale, and obviously Cashman himself. Went for a sidewalk slam there, well escaped by Big Willie, who then lands the clothesline. Big Willie, such a tough competitor to deal with. Big Boss trying to prove that he isn't the joke that everybody claimed him to be. He claimed that he was carrying the team of the Blood Brothers for so long, and he had enough of it. He cut him loose before he believed the general manager would have ordered his client, Bruiser Brad, to turn on him. Well, those two will be going head-to-head in the first ever WIW boxing match. And oh god, no! Here's his opponent, Bruiser Brad. Bruiser Brad is out here. And these two are banned from touching each other under the orders of the general manager. Oh, but Big Willie from behind. He's going to take advantage. Big Bruiser Brad, it was all just a distraction. But the referee took so long to count, he could only score a 1. Well, Big Boss now will be filled with confidence after that, seeing his enemy coming down to the ring to try and take him out of the equation. But it's not worked, and now Big Willie under pressure. Big Willie tried to take advantage of the distraction. He's had these roll-up victories in the past. And right now, he might just regret it. Bruiser Brad making his appearance clear, but that's the first time these two have stepped into the ring lately without threatening to kill each other. Big leg drop there. Well, it's because they know that they don't have to collide. They know in a few days' time, they will be facing one-on-one in a boxing match under WIW style rules. And there's the cutter that he's been looking for this match. Big Willie playing to the crowd, the television champion, having to work extremely hard in this matchup to get this result. By far the longest these two have stepped into the ring with each other. Went for a strike, misses. Big Willie crashed down with the big spear by the Boss. And the Big Boss now starting to fight with some big strikes. The spear coming in. Is the Boss man close to putting this one away? Sidewalk slam. And Big Willie is hurt. He's sensing maybe his title reign could be coming to an end. And Big Boss is sensing it too. Big Boss with the Boss kick. Boss kick. Oh, but look at this. What? Big Willie is straight back to his feet. And Big Willie looking straight away to capitalize. Went for the running powerbomb. But he couldn't get it. And now Big Boss has him on the ropes. And Big Willie in danger here as he's now being pressed on the ropes. He couldn't find the running powerbomb. And that could be costly. Big Boss still trying to find a way to put Big Willie down, but he still just doesn't go down. And that is the exact same problem that over 50 different matches have proven with Big Willie. He just doesn't stay down. And now Big Willie trying for the running powerbomb again. Can he find him? Can he get him up? It's going to be tough. He does have him up, and he slams him down. Running powerbomb. Perfectly done. Big Willie drags him away from the ropes and straight into the cover. The hook of that massive leg of Big Boss. It's only a 2, and a very sharp 2 at that. Big Willie splashing down now. Trying to slow down. The Big Boss slams him down again with the splash. Big Willie just trying to capitalize while he's down. He's really struggled standing up to the dude, to be honest. That big powerbomb usually does the trick. The fact that it didn't on Big Boss should tell you all you need to know versus the Northern Lights. And these two super heavyweight fighters doing whatever is necessary here to capture the championship. Another big splash by Big Willie. Big Willie, all his hard work over the last year could come to an end here tonight. And he is doing everything in his power not to let that happen. Trying to stomp away on the legs, maybe slow down his movement on his way back up. But Big Boss had that well scouted. For a man at 7'4" and 500 pounds, that definitely was not what Big Willie was expecting to see. Trying to stomp the boot down with all his force, but it didn't happen. And for Big Willie, he didn't take much advantage of the distraction, but there's the running knee. Running knee by Big Willie, and straight into the cover. Is this enough to retain the championship? It is. Big Willie had some help there with the distraction to at least give him a fighting chance in this one. But regardless, Big Willie has done it. Big Willie will have been champion coming up to the next pay-per-view for 365 days combined. And he knocks off the Big Boss again. And for Bruiser Brad, who got to watch that all happen and was part of the reason for it happening, Big Willie walking out the winner again here, gets to celebrate being champion for 365 days over 2 different title reigns. But for Big Boss, that's only going to add fuel to the fire. Another defeat to Big Willie, and that is not going to make him feel great. Coming into the pay-per-view, he is going to be angry, and I'm sure he'd be willing to take his frustrations out on Bruiser Brad in the boxing match at Uprising pay-per-view. It's going to be one hell of a contest between the two. I cannot wait, but we'll have to get there first. A big win for Big Willie, though. History is made here tonight on Friday Fight Night. Congratulations to Big Willie. At Uprising, it becomes official, but you will have been champion for a whole year, my friend. Let's move on down the rest of the card. The final match before the huge Mayhem vs. Fight Night main event that was announced on social media earlier on this week. Vicky Valentine is out here for the final attempt at qualifying for the Money in the Bank ladder match. Vicky Valentine, she's had more than her fair share of chances here in the Money in the Bank ladder match, or to get into it at least. But now the general manager has taken pity on her and has given her one final chance. Vicky Valentine, one of the most active women in WIW, always in the ring, always trying to win, and she has won over the crowd. As you can see, they're all in applause for Vicky Valentine, but she's got a tough task here tonight, taking on the Hive again. She hasn't had the best of history dealing with the Hive, but we'll see if she can deal with them. The Hive 1-0 tonight. 2 women already secured in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Can they get the final person of the Hive in this match and give them the best chance possible of walking out with the briefcase at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view? Next person down to the ring, her opponent, Katherine Albright. And since joining the Hive, people have actually started to notice and appreciate the quality of in-ring competition that is brought by Katherine Albright. And she has been a noticeable threat in the past in the Mayhem women's division, but we will now see what she can do here tonight. Can she get herself a spot in the Money in the Bank ladder match, the final spot in the Money in the Bank ladder match, which will complete the card for Uprising with this final spot? Will Katherine Albright be able to capture it and make it 3 members out of 3 of the Hive in the match? The bell rings, and away we go. And look at Katherine Albright straight out the gate here. Vicky Valentine has been in a lot of in-ring competition over the last couple of weeks. She's non-stop in the ring despite the beating she's taking at these times. And right now, she's taking a huge beating here. Katherine Albright, what a start she has gotten off to. And Albright, of course, isn't going to want to let down her team. The Hive fairly new. They lost in their debut match as a team. They can't afford to lose again. And of course, the Hive now have Tashley and Barbie Versace in this Money in the Bank ladder match. Whoever will become the first woman to win it is going to be monumental, and the Hive wanted to make sure that they could do it. A big chunk of the women's division will have been watching the Hive rise together here over the last couple of weeks. Since their formation, they've been brilliant. Look at this. Already looking for an exploder suplex, and already she's forcing her to retreat. Well, not the best of starts from Valentine, but that exploder suplex turning the tide. And now sending her out to the outside where the rest of the Hive are. And the Hive want to be careful here. They don't want to get themselves involved. They do not want to risk disqualification. But look at that massive move by Valentine on the outside. Vicky has done everything she could possibly think of to get into the Money in the Bank ladder match, but she has yet to find something that works, and that's the biggest problem for Vicky Valentine. There's a German suplex. The biggest problem for Valentine is that she just never can find the recipe to success. She can never find the way to win in WIW. She's never found that finishing move that has put people away. She has the running knee, but she has to do that multiple times usually in order to get a result. Into a cover here, trying to advance. It's a 1 count. And it is going to be a jam-packed women's Royal Rumble match at Uprising. The first ever, I said Royal Rumble, didn't I? My bad. the first ever women's Money in the Bank ladder match at the pay-per-view. It is going to be a huge one for all of the women involved in that matchup. And that is quite a few people. And there's the head scissor takedown by Katherine Albright. She's going to go straight into the cover. And it's only going to get a rope break, I think. And now look at this submission, Katherine Albright. Dangerous submission here on Vicky Valentine. Valentine is in trouble here. Oh, and I see her eyes starting to shut there. Luckily, she escaped when she did. But Katherine Albright stays on her, not slipping away from the attack. And there's another German suplex. Katherine Albright in thorough control. Vicky Valentine wants to be careful there. There's another suplex, this time a Northern Lights. And look at her bridging through into the brainbuster. Panic stations now for Valentine. And Katherine Albright thoroughly in control, much to the disapproval of the crowd. So far in the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, Isabella Vega, Kava Kaiju, Elliot Rogers, Bobby Versace, Brooke Danger, and Tashley. All in the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Is Katherine Albright about to join them? There's the axe kick to the top of the head, straight into the cover. The referee taking a little while there to come down and make the cover, but it's enough. Vicky Valentine is just not going to happen. And the Hive complete the set. Tashley and Katherine Albright will join Bobby Versace in the Money in the Bank ladder match. That's three members of the Hive in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Huge opportunity for all of them to capture it. I'm sure they won't care which one of them get it, as long as the Hive walk away with the Money in the Bank briefcase. But Katherine Albright, she gets her moment to show her amazing in-ring abilities, and she pulls it off there with the axe kick, and the Hive, for the second time tonight, can celebrate women's success, as the Hive are 3 of the 4 women's members of the Fight Night women's division. The only other woman from the Fight Night brand to make it in the Money in the Bank is the former women's champion herself, Brooke Danger. Well, the Hive and Brooke Danger haven't exactly got on in the past, but the Hive won't care about any of that here tonight. They now have 3 members in the Money in the Bank ladder match, and that gives them huge momentum heading into the Uprising pay-per-view. But will the Hive manage to use the numbers advantage to capture that Money in the Bank briefcase? We will have to wait and see. A huge victory here tonight, though, for all of these women. Let's move on to tonight's huge main event. Main event tonight, and it's a big one. An 8-man tag team match. The 4 Money in the Bank participants from Mayhem versus the 4 Fight Night participants. Or, of course, actually the 3 Fight Night participants. And for Franco, the Madman Ricci, who will be representing the Revolution brand at the pay-per-view. But he gets to make his main roster debut tonight, and we'll get there when he comes out. But the 4 Mayhem men make their way down to the ring for what is an away matchup for them. It's going to be difficult away from home, under the pressure of the Fight Night fans. But it's been done before. Can they do it again? The first person down to the ring was the first person to qualify on the Mayhem end for the Money in the Bank ladder match. It is Robert Hall, who is making his way down to the ring. The man who has had a dramatic rise back up the card. I talk about all the time how bad he started, but look at his recent successes after winning the Nathan Logue Memorial Royal Rumble for the very first time. He has been in part of some big matches in WIW, and it's not going to get much bigger than the Money in the Bank ladder match that will be taking place at Uprising pay-per-view this week. It's this week here on the Gaming Blake Network. A huge matchup. Robert Hall, a guaranteed title matchup for grabs for him. He's never been a champion here in WIW, and he could turn his fortune around should he do that. And I'm sure he'd love to get the upper hand here tonight, but he is being forced to team with his biggest enemy, a man who has been hunting him down, beating him down for months, and at the end of it all came out the other end, telling a very different tale to Robert Hall. It is the Dragon, Tyson Jackson, making his way down to the ring in this Money in the Bank ladder match, tag team match for right now. And Tyson Jackson looking in the ring, seeing his tag team partner is the man who he's been feuding with for months. I can't make him a happy man, but the Dragon is here on the white and gold brand, and we will see how he fares tonight here in this tag team matchup, teaming with someone he doesn't want to team with. That's gonna be difficult, but he does have someone in here that he will want to team with, that is for sure. But the Mayhem brand and the Fight Night brand have always been fighting over which brand is better and for supremacy. Mayhem won the brand of the year last year, but I believe that the Mind Games pay-per-view actually ended in a tie, so there was no definitive winner between those two. But here is someone who, of course, has become a Monday Night Mayhem favorite. A man who, of course, traded his European Championship rematch clause in order to participate inside this matchup. It's a huge opportunity up for grabs for this man who has been looking to climb into the world title picture for so long, and now finally at Uprising will get his opportunity. It is the Welsh Dragon, Mason Foster, teaming with the Dragon here tonight, and Robert Hall, and of course the man who will be coming out after this, Mason Foster, the two-time European champion, the longest reigning European champion in Mayhem's history so far, and a very popular name with the crowd. The Mayhem Superstar of the Year has had a meteoric rise here in WIW, and it could only get higher at the pay-per-view should he be able to win at the pay-per-view and capture the Money in the Bank ladder match. Mason Foster, as always, had his eyes set on the World Championship, but the question is, will he be able to grab the briefcase to finally just do that? Will he finally be able to capture a World Championship opportunity by capturing the Money in the Bank briefcase? It's what all these men want, but they all have to work together here tonight in order to get to that stage. And here is the man I was talking about earlier, the former hardcore champion, the first ever WIW champion. It is the Rage Machine. Rage is here tonight, ready to go, and he's teaming tonight, funny enough, with his former tag team partner in Tyson Jackson, the Dragon Dynasty, working together here tonight. And it was never explained why they decided to leave WIW, but they left together and they've come back and they've been doing their own separate things, the Dragon Dynasty. And whether or not we'll see them together again remains a mystery, but they seem very, very content on doing their own thing. Rage has come back. He's won a hardcore championship. Other than that, he hasn't been too successful. But he is here tonight, helping rep the brand as he managed to qualify for the Money in the Bank ladder match. A huge opportunity for Rage. And, of course, Rage, in the process of qualifying, managed to eliminate Siler Jordan, meaning he gets a European Championship shot at the next Mayhem pay-per-view, which means regardless of whether or not he walks out with the briefcase, he is going to get a title shot. Well, that's the away team. Time to bring out the home team for Friday Fight Night. And here comes a man who we haven't seen since he qualified for the pay-per-view. It is William Hale. And this man has been a top star here as of late, managing to qualify, getting these low-key victories, William Hale. And, of course, beating Dino D and Trevor Jackson was no easy feat. Trevor Jackson, very much a prize fighter, who only turns up when a big opportunity presents itself. And as for Dino D, one of the workhorses of Fight Night, he did manage to win the second chance Battle Royale, or Fatal 4-Way, as I believe it was in the end for Dino D. And so William Hale and Dino D, there might be a little bit of conflict there, but William Hale, who has never captured a championship, has a huge opportunity to do that at the pay-per-view, should he capture the Money in the Bank briefcase. Remembering, of course, Max Danger was never a champion before the Money in the Bank briefcase came into his hands. And since then, he has been a 2-time champion and will once again be facing for the World Heavyweight Championship to become a 3-time World Heavyweight Champion at the Uprising pay-per-view. Huge opportunity for him to follow that same trend. The Money in the Bank briefcase can excel your career forward. And to be honest, no one's going to want that more right now than this man. The man who have failed to relinquish the Cruiserweight Championship grasp of the of Jake Griffiths. He failed to conquer William Hale in the first qualifier. It hasn't been a great couple of months. He failed to conquer John Cutter at Insomnia, and that is where it all started for him. And he hasn't been able to live that loss down yet. But for Dino D, a huge chance to do that at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. He is a true workhorse. He will do whatever he has to get the win, Dino D. We've seen him do it. But the question is, can he do it when it matters and win the Money in the Bank briefcase, which guarantees the world title opportunity? Dino D is someone else who has never been a champion. A lot of people in this ring have never been a champion or a world champion. Here is someone who has been one of the longest reigning world champions in the World Heavyweight Championship division. The man who has done it all. He's a world champion, leader of the 4-time tag team champions, Fight Night Star of the Year, overall Star of the Year. A man who has done it all, and he's even squared off with the chairman of WIW at Insomnia. It is King Sam stepping up for the Fight Night brand. He made it clear all the way back when we did the Superstar Shake-Up. He had no intention of switching brands, and the Wolfpac would stay on Fight Night. The Wolfpac has definitely built Fight Night to be the dominant brand that it has been. It hasn't been enough to capture the brand of the year yet, but he leads the tag team champions, well, the former tag team champions, the tag team of the year, the Fight Night Star of the Year, and the overall Star of the Year. The Wolfpac, the stars of Fight Night, who are all in action at the pay-per-view, all 4 of them in action in title matches or in the Money in the Bank briefcase match for King Sam. For Sam, that briefcase in its history, including the trial era, has always been cashed in on King Sam. He is here to make sure that trend doesn't continue, and making his main roster debut. Remember, he's not a full-time main roster star. This is just his first match on the main roster, and it could be potentially something we could see in the future, him on the main roster. But Franco, the Madman Ricci, who managed to win in the Feast or Fired match the opportunity to be in the Money in the Bank ladder match. He is making his way down to the ring. He is here to compete for Team Fight Night. He took the final Fight Night spot, and he is now here to represent their brand if he can. A huge opportunity presenting itself here for this man. Will he be able to capitalize on it? Franco the Madman Ricci, what happens to him if he wins the Money in the Bank briefcase? Well, I'm assuming for now it'd stay on Revolution, but you've got to imagine that should he win, both Mort Goldberg and Theodore Adam Wright are going to want to snap this signing up and try and get him on their brand, especially if he does potentially become a world champion contender with the Money in the Bank briefcase. A huge opportunity presenting himself for Franco the Madman Ricci. The bell rings and away we go. It's 1 fall to the finish, and William Hale and Robert Hall are going to start us off. And you see the 2 massive members of the Dragon Dynasty on that side there. And how well are they actually going to work together, the Mayhem team? Tyson Jackson, Rage, they've not exactly taken a liking to many of the Mayhem roster. Of course, they have shown to work well in teams before. Like I say, they've faced for the tag team titles on numerous occasions, so no reason they can't work to get those 2 can't work together at least. But in regards to Robert Hall and Tyson Jackson, they haven't exactly been friends over the last couple of weeks. That's to say the very least. Their no disqualification match was quite a brutal one. So who's to say that they won't even tag each other in? I have no idea what's going to happen. But the Fight Night team working together here, and they want to defend home turf. They've, of course, they're here in their own stadium, their own arena. They do not want to lose, especially coming into the Uprising pay-per-view where they can have a massive advantage boost by doing that. Now they're going to make a tag. Oh, did you see the look they gave each other as the tag is made? Robert Hall deciding he didn't get off to the best of starts there. And now the Dragon gonna show us how it's done there. There's the kick. Dino D was calling for the tag, but it was prevented. And interestingly enough, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that every single person in the Mayhem team have been Mayhem stars from the start. Robert Hall was on Mayhem when he was drafted. So were the Dragon Dynasty, and so was Mason Foster. Tag made, and in comes Dino D. Oh, there's an atomic drop by William Hale, showing off his technical side. And then the strength of Dino D gets the suplex. Great tag team work there from the Fight Night brand. And now look at the strength of Dino D, once again asserting his strength. And Tyson Jackson being greeted with Dino D. Recently dropped down to the 205 mark to compete for the Cruiserweight title. He was unable to capture it. And for Dino D, he's looking to bring resurgence back into his career. Will he be able to do that by capturing the briefcase? He's looking great out the gate here tonight. Misses the double axe handle. Too far of a jump. But he's still able to capitalize here. Jackson. Oh, and he was almost taken for a ride there. But Jackson with a counter. And now what's Jackson doing? Look at this. Mocking Dino D. And now what's he going to do here? Look at this, dancing on him. Almost to say it's too easy, despite the fact he's taken quite a few hits here. But a massive fist drop. And now the Dragon doing a phenomenal job here of trying to fight back for his team. Is he going to make a tag? Maybe to his former Dragon Dynasty member? No. Prevented the tag there to Dino D, but he's still in that corner. It's dangerous. He does manage to escape it, though. Very nicely done. Will he be able to make the tag? Still can't find any room as Dino D continuing the pressure here. And Team Fight Night right now in control. Mayhem and Fight Night, a brand rivalry that has continued for so long. Oh my god. Tossing him across the ring now with the alley-oop bomb. And Dino D in complete control of the Dragon. And it's funny as well because the Dragon was almost like, I'll show you how it's done when he got tagged in. But right now, he's not showing anything as he's hit with a Uranagi. And right now, in complete control, and now might want to tag out and try and get someone else in. But the Dragon counters. William Hale, though, protecting Dino D and tags himself in. Tags himself into the match. And there's a suplex to the Dragon. Great work there from William Hale. We've seen that he is one of the best technical wrestlers in WIW. A very smart, very cunning superstar. And now, potentially, can take complete control of this match. There's a lot of damage done by Dino D. Can they use that to put Jackson away? Tyson Jackson now needs something big to fight back here in this matchup. He is struggling big time. And you can't help but notice that Robert Hall isn't even flinching at the sight of his team starting to lose. I think he's starting to enjoy seeing this man being beaten down right in front of him. Desperately needs to make a tag, but right now William Hale in control. Jackson now with a counter. Can he find himself some space here to make a tag? He can't just get rid of Hale for a second. Hale is staying tight to him, and Hale now looking to lock in the submission. Can he find a rope break, Tyson Jackson? It doesn't look like it. Jackson's in trouble. And we might not even need to see hardly anybody in this match. And this match might end. Oh, but he's forcing him off. Tyson Jackson, can he break the three? He can. Jackson desperately needs to make a tag at this point in the match. But look at this, he sees an opening. And he wants to take advantage. Cross-leg Michinoku driver. Planting down William Hale. And look at this. He's not done there. Jackson looking for the Dragon's crash. Where did this come from? Dragons, no! And he got carried away. He got greedy. Wanted to finish this off himself. And he misses the Dragon's crash. Instead connects with the Dragon's tail whip. Straight into the cover. Is that enough to get the job done? It's a 2. Is he going to admit defeat and need to tag out now? He is. In comes the 2-time European champion Mason Foster. And so far, on the Mayhem team, they have a combined 4 championships, with Mason Foster's 2 European championships, Rage's Hardcore Championship, and WIW Championship. Look at, hang on, William Hale looking to finish this off. Execution knee, planting down Foster. And is that going to be enough? Straight out the gate, the referee being distracted there by Rage. But is that enough to knock out Foster as he enters the match? No, it's not. But worry signs for Mason. And in comes the king. The king of WIW, the self-proclaimed one at least, enters the arena and will now go after Mason Foster. And these two have spoken in the past about facing each other. It's always been a dream match for these two to collide. And Mason Foster right now getting a taste of what it's like to stand in the ring with one of the toughest superstars on the Fight Night roster, scooping him up. Powerbomb by King Sam. And Fight Night staying in control. So far, Franco, the madman Ricci, the only man not to enter the ring. So far, he's the only one who hasn't entered the ring. And as I was saying, 4 combined championships on the Mayhem brand in this tag team match. Hold on a minute. Is he already? He's locking in the submission. Mason, where did that come from? The submission hold, the figure 4. And look at this. Sam scrambling, he's panicking, trying to fight you out now. Trying to flip him around, trying to break the hold if he can. He finds a way out of it. But that hurt him, you could see it. Mason got hurt on the way out there and once again went straight back for the legs, maybe trying to scoop him up for it again. King Sam's not having it. Trying to fight him off, but Mason trying to get back into this for his team. Mayhem have had the majority of pressure on them. They might find something now to keep in control. And right now, King Sam is struggling to deal with Mason. And now Mason thinks he has what it takes to put him down. But no, King Sam fights him off. King Sam breaks his hold there. And now can King Sam find something? There's a knee to the jaw. King Sam trying to apply the pressure here. But look at this. Oh, he just tosses him out of the ring. Did you see the distance on that? Oh, but King Sam's not done there. King Sam, look at the fly over the top. Beautiful move there. And Mason trying to get back to his feet. Oh my God, look at this, the Dragon now. Tyson Jackson taking out the team lead. Well, I say the team leader, the leader of the Wolfpac. King Sam, Mason has time to recover. And now look at the tag team work here between the 2 dragons of Mayhem. The Welsh Dragon and the Dragon working together there on the outside on King Sam. Right as King Sam was starting to take control of Mason Foster. Dragging him into the ring now. Oh, but look at this. He's decided he's still not done with him. Oh my God, Jackson. Oh! Diving cross body to King Sam and he leaks out the ring. And King Sam right now getting destroyed at the hands of Tyson Jackson, trying to break his hold now and escape. He needs to get back in this ring. The referee counting him, but luckily the count was reset. Oh! Arm drag onto the steel steps. Oh, and there's a bulldog. Escapes his grasp. Now can he get back in the ring? Yes, he can. Mason was waiting patiently, but Mason took too long staring and is made to pay with an air raid siren. King Sam is taking some hits. Might want to consider a tag. Desperately. Oh, but look at this. He gets him behind. Couldn't look at a submission. And so goes for the knee. You see him struggling to lock in the chicken wing. He went for it. Instead counters it out into a knee. And now Dino D in the ring. Mason Foster and Dino D colliding now in the ring. Mason couldn't capitalize on the fact that Tyson Jackson had beaten down King Sam on the outside. But now can he take advantage of Dino D? Jackson wants back in and Jackson gets back in. Still Franco the Madman Ricci, still the only person not to enter this matchup. A still haven't done the title count for the Mayhem side, have I? Honestly, I think the only person who's actually won a championship on the Mayhem team currently is King Sam. And that, of course, is the one-time WIW championship. So it's the title count between Mayhem and Fight Night in this matchup is 4-1. Look at this. What's he going for here? Oh, wrenching away on the arm, a submission by the Dragon. Wrenching away on the arms of Dino D. But look at Dino, what a counter. Considering he had no control of either of his arms, that was quite impressive. Now trying to create some breathing room to get away from the Dragon. There's a neck breaker. Rage was calling for the tag there, but Dino D saw that coming, prevented it from happening, trying to spin him around. Couldn't do that, and there's a code breaker. Dino D does a move very similar, and he couldn't hit his own, and instead he gets hit with it. And I think that angered Dino D very much so. Getting him up on the shoulders now, look at this. Torture rack position, and spinning him out into a powerbomb. And the Dragon in control of Dino D. This match has been very back and forth so far. Who's going to be able to score it? Look at this. Looking for the Uranagi again. This time connects. And straight into the cover on the Dragon. No one's coming to his rescue. Is this going to be enough for the Fight Night win? It's a 2 count. This match has been very heavily contested. We wasn't sure how much these guys were willing to go. Were they willing to go full out? It looks like they were. And they're proving that here. Hale trying to save Dino once again. He couldn't find the cheap shot now. In the corner here. Oh, God. Just slaps him across the face there. Cheap shot by the Dragon. What's this? Everyone on these corners evacuated. What's the Dragon doing here? Oh! Double knees! Double knees to Dino D, desperately trying to crawl away to his teammates. But he's not going to find a tag. Instead, that could be the end. But it's a 2 count. 2 count by the Dragon. And it wasn't enough there to get the job done. Now can William Hale potentially find something in this match to wrap it up? These teams have fought very heavily. Hishing touch. Dino D finally gets him in a corner, but it wasn't for the tag like I thought it would be. Dino D going big here to inflict lots of damage onto Robert Hall. And a superplex connects. King Sam and William Hale were clever to get out the way there to make sure that things went okay. They're still just staying out of his way, which is good. It's better than what Tyson Jackson was doing on the other side. Oh, never mind. Never mind. Getting revenge for the other side. King Sam, I can understand why he's doing that after being ambushed on the opposite side. But right now, William Hale and King Sam protecting Dino D here in this one. In this final matchup before the Uprising pay-per-view. It's a stacked Uprising card. Look at this. Dino D going to just slam his head onto the table. And now King Sam going to bring him back into the ring. And Robert Hall might look to find a tag. Can he find one? Yes, he can. Back in comes Tyson Jackson. And Jackson sends him over the knee. And look at this. Jackson just flying in 3 massive knees. Dino D in a little bit of jeopardy now. And now the Dragon can strike. Dino D manages to slip behind. Can he go away and make the tag? Oh, went for a drop kick. Miscalculated. Tyson Jackson. Oh, look at that. Went for the code breaker again. Trying to add further insult to injury with that move, but he couldn't connect. Desperately needing a tag now. But Jackson says enough is enough. Jackson was signaling the end. Maybe he was looking for it. But no. Dino D with a counter. Now Dino D. Will he consider leaving the ring? He wanted to stay on top of the situation there, trying to take him out, but he couldn't. Jackson deciding what he's going to do. Waiting for a tag, it looked like. And finally, in comes Franco. Franco the Madman Ricci getting his first piece of main roster action, flying in with clotheslines and knees. Oh, but he runs right into a knee of his own. The Dragon Tyson Jackson now welcoming Ricci here to the main roster. It may not be a permanent fix for Franco, but right now he's feeling the wrath of the Dragon. Franco, the Madman Ricci, fresh into this match, and the Dragon now in the corner just watching his prey, stalking. Is he going to make a tag? He is. Back in comes Mason. As actually, I said Franco was the only one who hasn't come in yet, but I think that actually Rage hasn't come in yet. I don't remember seeing him actually, and I might have miscalculated there when I made that accusation, but Franco, the Madman Ricci, has exploded to life here in this match. He wants to impress everyone. He wants to show the main roster people he deserves a main roster contract. There's a super kick to the jaw of Mason Foster, and now Foster's in trouble. Can Ricci capitalize? Oh, look, he was going for that swinging neck breaker of his, but he couldn't capitalize. Instead, Mason into a knee bar. Straight away back to targeting the knee, as he is targeted so much here in WYW this year. Franco considering maybe running away to get the tag there, but Mason didn't want that to happen. Instead, Mason going to look for that DDT! The butterfly DDT! And the two-time European champion looking to wrap this one up for Team Mayhem. It's a 2 count. Franco still very fresh in this match. And Jackson comes back in. Jackson and Foster doing a lot of the heavy lifting in this match. Notice that he hasn't been in a particular rush to tag back into this match Robert Hall. I don't know how much Robert Hall's going to want to be in this match. To be honest, if you can keep yourself fresh, then why wouldn't you? Another code breaker right in the face of Dino D. And now look at this, mocking him in the corner. The Dragon to the boo of the crowd, who I'm sure will be on the Mayhem side of things tonight. Right now, in control of the situation, but Franco the Madman Ricci not letting it get away with that. Ricci now to send him to the corner. He sends him into that corner. Can he make a tag? No, he can't. The Dragon prevents it. Oh my god! What a move by Tyson Jackson, and now Jackson begging for him to get back to his feet for a Dragon's tail whip. And not the first big move he's been hit with here, Ricci. This could be the end. King Sam deciding he's going to come and try and make the save. And at the count of 2, he does. And Mason Foster getting rid of King Sam. Trying to prevent any further intervention, but look at Jackson, who's just manhandling Franco, the Madman Ricci, who might have regretted deciding to come in. Makes the tag. No! What was that? William Hale! Ricci went to make the tag, but William Hale said no. William Hale decided he didn't want to come in. What was that about? They've been working together so well up until this point, and now William Hale just decided he doesn't want to come in. I have absolutely no idea why he just did that, but Ricci now having to fight him off on his own. But right now, Mason and Jackson just staying in control of proceedings. And now look at this, Jackson! Jackson now deciding he doesn't want to come in. And once again, Mason Foster having to fight off on his own. And now all of a sudden, you're starting to see the battle lines being drawn here before the Uprising pay-per-view. Tyson Jackson and William Hale both deciding they didn't want to come in at separate times. But now William Hale is in, and a submission hold has been applied. Wearing down the legs here is Mason Foster. And now Mason, once again, maybe looking for a tag. Robert Hall now deciding he doesn't want to come in. And everybody on the Mayhem side seems to be isolating Mason Foster, leaving him in the ring. William Hale has changed his mind. He decided he did want to come into the ring, and he is now here. Dino D now calling for a tag. He's decided he isn't going to be a coward and hide away, but Hale deciding he's not going to tag him. Instead, in comes the former world champion King Sam, who flies off the top and straight into the cover, off the crossbody. William Hale making sure no one intervenes, and it's a 2 count. Interesting things happening here. Everyone seemed to be on the same page at first, but now it looks like people are starting to differ. And King Sam looking to make Mason Foster tap out now. Can he lock it in? Finally. Can he find it? He's hooked his arm, and he's got him down. This is it. Surely. Crossface chicken wing. Mason's in trouble. And Mason couldn't hold on. King Sam sees that things were starting to get a little bit frustrating for everybody. And King Sam wraps it up. It took him a second attempt to lock in that crossface chicken wing. But this time he gets it. And Mason Foster is defeated. And poor Rage, he didn't even get to come into this match. But what a contest. Everyone put on a true clinic in wrestling. That was the first attempt in the chicken wing that spun out into the knee. But in the end, Team Fight Night on home ground win here tonight in this huge huge matchup heading into Uprising that gives all 4 of these men huge momentum. They all looked impressive tonight. William Hale, though, looked as though he didn't quite trust everybody in that matchup, maybe sensing a threat of this imminent matchup. Well, they all worked well together tonight at times, but at pay-per-view, they're all competing against each other. Is one of these 4 men going to walk out and your new Mr. Money in the Bank, or is it someone from Mayhem who will take the cake as well? Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That wraps up tonight's show. I hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to leave a like if you did. Comment your thoughts and feelings on tonight's show. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. And I will catch you guys at Uprising. Peace.